Hey guys, it's Elizabeth. Welcome back to my channel. If your manifestations are not working, either you feel like you're seeing a little bit of progress and then all of a sudden you're 10 steps back, or you're not seeing anything at all, or it feels forced, the reason why is you are not connected to your inner guidance system. People call this your gut or your intuition. But this is the guiding principle that often gets missed in the manifestation journey. This is a relationship that you have with your world around you. It is your connection with yourself, with your inner ability to know what's right or wrong. This is what puts you in the right place at the right time, helps you make powerful decisions that will guide you and lead you step by step to where you want to go. In this video, I will break it all down for you and explain exactly what you need to do to get back on track so you know when your intuition is giving you a nudge. And what most people don't understand is that your intuition is always speaking to you. When we are living our life day to day, things are coming up, things are busy. We're going 100 miles an hour down the line, trying to just accomplish things, and we are often just pulled along and can't see those little nudges. And the reason why is because intuition is very, very subtle. I'm going to say it again. It's very subtle. It's not what you think it is. So many people think that it is going to be the voice of God that they are going to hear. Elizabeth, don't do that. Elizabeth, this is the decision you need to make. And after years and years of learning how to work with my intuition, I will tell you, it is so quiet that most people miss it every single time. And I only speak from experience because when I first started on this journey, I had absolutely no ability to connect to my intuition. I won't say I didn't have a connection with my intuition because every single person does. It's the ability to be able to tune into it, to be able to read the symbols that are coming to you, because intuition speaks in symbols. And if you can't understand what those symbols are telling you, you're going to miss it every single time. And so here's the trap. Manifestation requires action. A lot of people have the misconception, especially when you're following the law of attraction, that you visualize and that the opportunities are going to show up in your lap, that you can sit on the couch or you can lay in bed and sleep all day and binge watch Netflix, and that all of a sudden, all of your manifestations are going to come to you, that free cup of coffee, the dream job, the dream car, the family, the significant other. All of that is just going to, by like snap of the finger, a magic wand, tapping you on the head, it's going to show up. Those are not realistic depictions of how manifestations work. Hear that again. These are not realistic depictions of how manifestation work. Manifestation requires massive action. It requires you to step out of your comfort zone. It requires you to say yes to the opportunities that the universe are putting in front of you each and every day. But decisions come up. Problems arise, right? We're human. We're living this experience every single day. We go to work, we do these things, and things fall in our lap and try to knock us off kilter. The way to deal with it is through intuition. So manifestation requires action, but it requires the right action. How do you know the right action to take? Your intuition. So once you shift your mindset into understanding that you need to take action to get to your manifestation and that you need to take the right action, then how do you connect? This takes practice. It's not overnight, especially when we have been programmed, the way we live our lives, to be just bombarded with all of this input constantly coming in that we can't see it. So the first step is always to get quiet, to go inside, because that is where our intuition is showing up. Now, every once in a while, you will get an outside source of an intuitive hit, meaning that slap on the wall, that loud noise, something will happen that your intuition is making you pay attention to get the sign. That's a symbol. So the first step in connecting is understanding that when you ask a question of your intuition, an answer will appear. The tricky part is understanding how to receive that answer. And so what you need to do in order to start understanding all of the input that's constantly coming your way is to get quiet. And the way that I like to get quiet is through meditation. Get a meditation practice. Even if you're starting with 2 minutes a day, eventually working up to 20 minutes a day. How you do this is you get comfortable. You don't have to sit in that cross-legged position where you are getting, stiff back and hurting and uncomfortable. But laying back at a little bit of a decline. And now if you're laying flat on your back, you might fall asleep, and that's not going to do you any good. So I like to be in a recliner, like at a 45-degree angle, laying back, relaxing, and you just focus on your breath. And you just focus on the current moment, on your breath. And every time that you find yourself daydreaming, thinking about the dishes you have to do, the dog you got to take out, the kids you got to pick up from school, the work you have waiting for you when you're done meditating, all those things, the cup of coffee you want to be having, you just bring yourself back over and over again. Every single meditator has this issue, and you just bring yourself back. The purpose of this is to become present and to notice every time you're drifting away, but it's also about understanding what's happening in your body, because when you are getting intuitive hits, it's stuff that's happening usually in your body. So when you ask your intuition a question, okay, intuition, tell me, do I need to make decision A or decision B? You are able to then easily pay attention to all of the input coming through your body so you can hear it. Second thing I want you to know is that practice makes perfect, and you want to practice on things that are insignificant. So when you're practicing on those big decisions, there's so much writing on it, right? So if you make a mistake, then you feel, oh my God, there's such a big risk associated with this. However, when you do it on something inconsequential, you get real feedback in the moment, and it doesn't matter if you get it wrong, but you can learn in that moment. So if you get it wrong, then you can say, okay, what did that feel like? That is not my intuition speaking to you. When you get it right, okay, it felt like this. This is my intuition speaking to you. So I recommend practicing on self-validating exercises where you can get live results every time you practice. And I have a prop here. My family just celebrated Easter. I got a box of Easter eggs, all different colors, and I just happen to have this. But you can get my list of my favorite self-validating exercises. I'll put them in the description below, and you can start with that. And every day, just 1 to 5 minutes, a couple exercises. So for this, you pick one up, you close your eyes, and so you don't see the color. You ask your intuition, show me what color egg am I holding? And then you see what's coming through. You might see it as a vision in your mind's eye or your imagination. Remember, intuition often comes through that way. That would be called clairvoyance, mind's eye, but it's actually your intuition. It's not going to be a voice of God saying color yellow. All right? It might be a feeling you get that it's the color of yellow. It might be something that's totally unrelated. You might see a bike or have the idea of a bike, and then you ask your intuition, you're showing me a bike. How does that bike relate to the color of this egg? And then you might get another symbol until you reach the color of yellow. And you're going to just keep reiterating that process over and over again. It's an iterative process. And you're just going to practice every single day on things that are inconsequential, and then write down how you came to your answer, right or wrong. What did it feel like? I saw I saw a bike, but I didn't take it the step further, so I never got to the color yellow. Or I felt something that showed me anxiety, but I wasn't able to understand how it related to the color yellow. And then the next time you practice, you keep getting more and more information. And this is starting a conversation with your intuition. It's starting to build that relationship to get you on your path. And so, really easy. I had a box of eggs. I'm practicing with it this week until I put these away. And then, I don't have these eggs laying around anymore because I put them back into storage. And then I'll take a deck of playing cards or something else I have laying around. But the way that you can get good practice is that you can open your eyes and get a good answer. And that's what I recommend every single day. You're building that muscle. You're strengthening it every single day. And then how do you use it on your manifestations? This is the key, right? Intuition is great for everything. When you're at the grocery store, picking a good piece of fruit, making good decisions. I use it every single day, which route to take to get to the school, all the time. But if you don't use it, it becomes weaker and weaker. And it's really important. And this can help you in so many aspects of your life. But for manifestations, when you are taking inspired action, understanding the right action to take, you tune in, you pause before you have to do something. And just connect. How am I feeling? Does this feel good or bad? And you start trusting yourself more. And when you're doing these exercises and getting them right, you start getting better at it. And then you start trusting yourself more. And then what happens is you start knowing your manifestation is right around the corner. And it transforms that experience. I have been working on manifesting something for a long time. And my visualization was feeling off, and it's felt off for so long. I could not figure it out. And then I started to tune into my intuition about why is this visualization feeling so forced? Why, when I try to call it up in my mind, is it fuzzy? Why can I get it right? Like that visualization is feeling good. And then all of a sudden it's like falling flat again. And then I start understanding from using my intuition what's going on. So download that worksheet I have on the 5 best self-validating exercises. Get started on that. And I want you to use your intuition for your manifestation, for the next action that you are going to take to get to where you want to go. And then you're going to see this thing called outer intention showing up very strongly. So there's a difference between inner intention, is where you're forcing something to happen in your experience, and outer intention. And this is being in the right place at the right time because you're following your intuition. So for me, I got an invitation for a workshop this week, and I have recently really started honing in on my intuition practice again. And then all of a sudden, all of these opportunities started flooding my inbox. Too many for me to do, but some of them just felt right. And then all of a sudden, I started to see things shift. And remember, as things start shifting in your experience, in the reality that you're living, start taking inventory of everything that's pointing you in the direction of your manifestation, because that also is building proof. So a lot of it requires journaling. I know that's some work. A lot of you out there tell me I don't have time for it. Just have a manifestation journal in your phone notes. That'll make a huge difference, and see where it lands you. Remember, what is being reflected in your current reality, everything you see, the set, the props, everything here, is what is inside of you, what your subconscious beliefs are, what you believe about yourself and your world. And when you're manifesting, you are shifting that. and you are taking inventory of what's showing up around you and using your intuition to understand, what do I need to shift? And then asking your intuition, how can I shift this? And using your mirror world, this is a very strong, powerful way to start making those shifts in the direction. So I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions for me, put them in the chat. I'll get back to you. I love hearing from all of you. And if you haven't caught my video yet on why your manifestations are not working and you have to keep repeating those lessons, I think you'll like this video. I hope you guys are doing well, and I'll catch you next time.